you joining us. My name is Ty Miller. I'm with Genetec. I'm joined by my colleague here, Barb Wood, also with Genetec. We are excited to share with you guys Genetec's Office Manager solution, which we're just releasing within the next couple weeks. So as part of the Innovation Insight Summit here, we wanted to share something new and fresh from Genetec, and it's going to add a lot of value to our end users, and I think you guys will be excited with what you see here. So part of the challenge that we're finding out there is that most of our customers have much more real estate more real estate than they probably need. You can see on the screen here that the average firm has roughly 30 to 50% more real estate than it needs. And a lot of that's due to redundancy, underutilization, global pandemics, for one. But a lot of our customers are now trying to answer questions like you see here, right? How often are their employees coming to the office? Right now, it's probably a zero or very few. But as they re-enter the workforce, how often are they using their space? Who needs a permanent desk? Who might be a candidate for a shared desk? What's the busiest day of the week? How often are conference rooms being used? When are they empty? When are they full? And are we compliant with occupancy regulations? And that's going to vary from geography to geography, state to state. So do our customers have that data to support their cost reductions, right? That's what this is all about. And that's where Office Manager comes in. So we're going to show you how you can leverage an investment that you've already made in Synergis and utilize that access control data to understand how the space is being utilized, better inform the corporate real estate folks that are making decisions on resource allocation, and then also make sure you're in compliance with those occupancy requirements and better manage the building spaces and conference rooms. So how are we doing that, right? We're taking access control data, we're running that through our rules engine, doing the filtering and qualification, and then we're spitting out the actionable information, which we're going to display on a dashboard through graphical reporting on a map, and I'll share that with you here shortly. So you can see on this lower left-hand corner widget, we're showing utilization in the month of July, right? We're also showing desk utilization. So if you're tracking who has a permanent desk, who has a shared desk, and how many of those desks are actually being utilized. And then lastly, on the occupancy, what's the count? What's the total threshold? What's the threshold and what's the total allowance? And as you meet those thresholds, what are you doing to alert staff that action may need to be taken? So it's really three pillars to understand the utilization. What are the cardholder insights? How are cardholders, or maybe groups of cardholders, how are they using the space differently? Within the office, are there specific areas or are desks being utilized? And then how can we judge whether or not, from the data, how can we judge whether or not somebody is a candidate for one of these desks? And then from an occupancy management standpoint, are we remaining in compliant? So you can see here just an example of how you would gain some of those cardholder insights. In terms of an attendance rate, we're going to identify the cardholders and what their attendance is based on a given potential days that they could have been in the office. In this case, this person at the top of the chart here is attending at a 75% rate. We give the ability to classify those attendance rates. Anything greater than X percentage is going to get a green for a high frequency attendee. Anything lower than a certain threshold would be red, and in the middle would be that moderate frequency attendee. So then understanding that in an office from an area standpoint and also from a desk utilization standpoint, we can use these widgets to display that in graphical form on our dashboards, and then give that actionable information that the customer can then take and make those informed decisions. And this is what that graphic may look like in an office space with a layout of an office and the desks that are allocated throughout. with a color indicator. So that the color indicator you can see on this floor plan here, you see red, yellow, and green next to these individuals. That's going to tell our confidence level that the cardholder is present. So within Security Center, you can indicate if somebody has badged in within the last hour or 2 hours, whatever you set that threshold to be, they would get a green indicator, meaning our confidence level is that that person's present. If it's been between, say, 2 and 6 hours, they're going to get a yellow indicator, meaning they may or may not be there. We're not totally sure. And then red, greater than X number of hours, say greater than 6 hours, it's unlikely that Peter McGivens is in the office at that time. Or I should say Jade Raymond, because she has a red dot. And this is exactly what I was referring to here, where we can configure those colors and also the thresholds in terms of access attempts in the last X hours. So from a desk management standpoint, we give the ability to create permanent desks, hot desk or shared desks. You can do a hoteling with the desk here, so available to be reserved. And then obviously unassigned, somebody hasn't taken ownership of that desk yet. You can see here from an occupancy management standpoint, understanding who's been in the office over the last week. Are we in compliance in terms of our current thresholds? In this case, down here on the lower corner, you've got this conference room that's exceeded its allowable threshold of 6 people. So we have 8 people of a max occupancy of 6. So there's an issue there, and we'd want the security system to be able to alert staff or alert HR, alert somebody that we're exceeding that threshold, and we need to have fewer numbers in that conference room. You can see here, this is what our dashboard looks like. Now in this dashboard, this widget here, these are all considered widgets on our dashboard, and these dashboards are completely customizable. You can change the look, the feel, the color. They are dynamic, so these are going to update in real time, showing the actual occupancy at any moment in time, or it's going to show history, in this case over the last week. So this widget's showing office attendance Sunday through Saturday, and you can very quickly see the number of unique cardholders that access that area. So in this case, if Joe came into the office and he badged in 57 times, he's still only going to count as one unique cardholder for that Monday. And you can see here, quick look, it's easy to tell that Friday is obviously the most popular day for people to come to the office, which they must be giving something free out on Fridays. But it's a quick, easy way to see when the space is being utilized the most. So the next widget that we're going to show here is our area utilization. Now this is giving us the ability to view usage of specific areas within the office. In this case, if there's 3,457 people that have badged in or are in the space, we know that 14.67% of it is being utilized in the F1 space. So it's giving us some intel and understanding of which areas within the office are most frequently utilized, and are we allocating enough resources to those areas. Over here, we're showing the frequency rate. So if I have 200 people that have accessed this area, of those 200, how many of them are what we consider a low, medium, or high frequency attendee? And again, like I said previously, you can set those thresholds so that a low frequency attendee might be has visited the office less than 25% of the time in a given month or week. You can set whatever those thresholds are. In this case, there's 55 users that are high frequency attendees, 67 that are medium, and 78 that are low. So on this next dashboard, we're actually going to dive deeper into that data. So I'm showing our cardholder attendance count. So this is telling me the top cardholder here, S. Borer, has been in the office. He has an attendance count of 5 in April and 5 in May for a total of 10. Okay. So we know how many unique visits he's made, not how many times he's used his card, because that might be hundreds over that time period, but how many unique visits. And then we can take that attendance count and create a rate. So we know here that S Borer at the top of this is attendance day count was 10 out of a potential 22 days during that schedule and that time period. So he's got a rate of 45%, or in this case, the highlighted person is a rate of 50%. So that's going to then aggregate into the visual report that we showed, showing the cardholder attendance rate. So again, I'm just showing you where the underlying data comes from that makes up that graphical representation. Now here we have a dashboard that's showing our desk reservation, our desk utilization. In this case, for this office layout, I've got 53 desks, and currently none of them are occupied because they're all red. As you can see, there's a little red indicator on each desk. And as they were utilized, this pie would change from all red to some green, some yellow, depending on our confidence level that those users are still in the area, in the space. As you hover over and click on the person, you can see it's going to pull up their name, their contact information, as well as a color indicator to tell whether or not that person may or may not be there. So this can be used from a social distancing standpoint to better understand where people are in the office during that day. If you're going to assign a desk, you're not going to assign one where everybody's going to end up on top of each other. You're going to kind of try to spread things out a little bit. So the whole idea here is harnessing the existing investment in the access control system to do more for you than just simply manage card holders and card readers, right? Giving you data that's valuable, that your organization needs, that our customers are dying for the data to be able to make those informed decisions on how much real estate do I have, how much do I really need, and how is my workspace being used.